Guys, if you're watching this, make sure you subscribe. If you want to watch the whole thing, you can watch it on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Catfishing. Apparently you've had a really big story of a catfish. Go on. Pop off.
It's so bad though. Like
I haven't heard this.
I look back and cry.
Oh, I'm sorry if you're lost. Sorry
Sorry to bring that up. Technically, he wasn't a real person, so he didn't die. But no, so when I was younger, it's actually bad though. Like so basically I was really young.
Right.
Like I was only like, 15, 16.
Oh, right, okay, young.
Yeah, young. But then it went on till I was like 17. So it went on for a few years.
For a while then?
A while, yeah. On and off. And I remember him just being like, oh, like every time we'd stop speaking, he would be like, oh, like, it's, by the way, this is his mum. And like, he's actually dying in hospital right now. And if you don't like speak to him, you won't even hear his last words. Imagine. And you're like, what, 16? Like, he's dying. He's dying. Like,
God.
the guy was so fucked. But yeah, I made a whole video on it. We talked for like on and off of 2 years. But he was 3 different guys.
Did you have a FaceTime or anything?
Yeah.
You did,
but
right,
he would
okay.
literally get a video of this guy that he was like, well, he catfished like 3 different guys. But he would get a video of the guy being like, hey, how are you? And then he would be like, it would be like losing connection. And he'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, like the connection's dropping. And I'd be like, oh, okay. But I would see him speak.
So you would believe it, yeah.
It would look like it was real.
Well, I mean, like, obviously, I'd believe it as well.
Yeah, who the fuck is... Do you know what I mean? But, I mean, I should have probably dipped on the second time. The first time, probably.
That's mad.
But you're naive and you're like, oh, he's a beautiful guy.
I'd still fall for it. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I really would. I'd be like,
Yeah.
he's just, he's really busy. He's a busy man.
Literally. Me being like the little emo that I was, he was like a scene guy as well. Like,
Rock
just like
on.
cool and edgy. I was like, he's an American guy. Like, he's so cool.
Oh,
But
that was your first red flag.
I was just getting catfished by some random old
So
man.
how did you find out?
Well, I still don't know who he is though. Like he literally could. I
One of
really
his stalkers.
He's either dead,
Oh.
which would suck
Rip.
actually because it's a bit peak. But because the last time I heard about him, he was dying.
But was he actually
dying?
Yeah.
I spoke to his mum on the
What?
phone.
What?
Yeah, I spoke to his mum.
What are you talking?
So
What's going on?
I was like 17 at the time and I was so over it. I'd not spoken to him for so long. Like when I say it was like a few years, it was, but it was like on and off. Like I wasn't always consistently falling for the bullshit. But when I was feeling weak, I was. But yeah, so I remember he was basically saying that, it was his mum and all this stuff. And I spoke to a woman on the phone. But yeah, she basically was just like this southern lady saying that he was dying.
What was he dying from?
Well, do you know what it was? I never really understood exactly, but I believe it was because he was like I don't want to say, it's really peak, but he was like saying he was suicidal. Well, that's what his mum said.
Oh.
But it's probably bullshit.
But was it
Do you
his
know what I
mum?
mean?
Was it his mum?
It wasn't his mum.
This could have been his mate.
The woman sounded very young.
Oh, right,
You know what
okay.
people think? The speculation is that it was actually him and that he's actually a woman. That's what people think.
I've watched Catfish. This happens a lot.
Yeah.
This happens a lot.
People think that. And he was basically saying like, you'll be on my bedside table and you are like, I'll be on the bedside and you say what you want to say to him. And I didn't like.
Did you do it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because he's done it so many times. But then he did come back again and said he just got back from rehab and that he actually had a mental breakdown. The guy was basically a bullshitter. He lied so much that I didn't believe anything.
Yeah, but this would be an amazing episode for Catfish. Have you ever thought about doing that?
They
You
did
should have
actually
done that.
reach out to me. They
Why
did
did you
reach
do
out to me.
that?
But I just feel like it's just really actually quite traumatizing. Like it's
Oh,
quite
yeah,
a lot.
of course,
Like,
but
I was so
listen.
young at the time as well. Like I was really naive as well. I just really wanted to see the best in people, and it was just so shit of him. Like, for fucking dickhead. Like, who does that to someone?
No, but
he's
who
probably
actually
out here
does
watching
do
it.
that?
Honestly, I feel like he still watches my stuff. I'm being serious. I feel like he's actually watching.
You better
If you're
fuck
watching
off.
this,
Do you know what I mean?
Tylus,
Yeah.
his name's Tylus. Apparently.
That was your first red flag.
Tylus.
What on earth is that name?
It was an emo name.
It's like Stylus.
It was an emo name. My name was Sky. So
Yeah, no, fair
it does
enough,
make
actually,
sense.
yeah.
It does. No, it does.
Listen, go back to listening to Black Veil Brides.